Welcome to Animal Atlas. Come with us around the globe and explore the animal world and its jungle animals and desert creatures. We'll meet wildlife on the savannah and see our underwater friends. And animals from the Arctic Circle. Anywhere, everywhere animals live. It's always an adventure. Today on Animal Atlas, we're looking up. There are so many wonderful animals under the water, or near the water, or making their way across the open land, or through the thick foliage, that we forget to look up. Beyond the tree homes and antics of the tree dwellers, and into the great wide blue sky.
Look! Up in the sky! It's not a plane! It's not super amphibious, the hippopotamus. It's a bird!
Yes, when we think of birds, we think of flight. But not all birds can fly. Ostriches at more than 300 pounds have lost the ability to fly. Yes, they still have wings, but they are more for cooling off or showing off than for anything else. Ostriches instead have strong runner's legs and fighter's toe talons that can strike fear into the heart of even the king of beasts. This looks a lot like where the ostrich lives in the wild, in Africa. Open grasslands with few trees. What good would flight be if there's nowhere to perch? In the savannah, running is the best option. And that long neck and those big eyes serve as a natural lookout tower. Emus from Australia are another big flightless bird. And they too flee by foot. And of course, there's penguins. Those stubby little wings may not lift the penguin aloft, but as water wings, they are a swimmer's dream come true. In fact, of all the birds in the world, it's a penguin, the Gen 2 penguin, who can swim the fastest underwater. This rotund little bird can streak through the open water at an unbelievable speed of 22 miles per hour. Though it's not flight that defines the bird, the ability to fly is something to marvel at. Only a few animals, including insects, bats, and birds, are capable of powered flight. Of these airborne wonders, who's the largest, fastest, and most powerful flyer? Birds. It was about 240 million years ago, during the reign of the dinosaurs, that a small lizard-like creature, not at all that different from this little fellow, stopped scuttling and took to gliding, using small flaps of skin as leathery parachutes. In no time, geologically speaking, giant winged reptiles developed, and then some smaller, active little dinosaurs eventually became birds. Yes, it's true. Reptiles and birds go way back. And with some, the family resemblance is still clear. Sometimes it's not as obvious, but it's still nice to see a bird sharing the good life with a reptile. What might they be thinking?
Remember the good old days?
Nowadays, there are more than 10,000 species of birds in the world. They come in a staggering array of sizes, and they live nearly everywhere on the planet. From the deserts, to the shoreline, to the rainforests, to the Arctic ice floes, where the polar bear and the beluga whale enjoy the frigid waters, making birds one of the most widespread of all animals. Where's bird paradise? The tropical rainforest. About 2/3 of all bird species are found there. in those amazing fertile forests, thick with vegetation and covered by a canopy of trees, where it's always damp, and where we might also find monkeys, huge snakes, poisonous frogs, jaguars, and giant tarantulas, among any number of unusual animals. Despite the vast variety of birds, they do share a number of things in common. Let's take a closer look. A bird's entire body, except for its bill and feet, is usually covered with feathers. Some birds seem to be wearing feathered pantaloons. Others seem to prefer the naked thigh look. But let's give the ostrich a break. It does live in a very hot climate. There are some notable exceptions, of course, since some birds, such as vultures, have bare heads and necks. The bald eagle may look bald from a distance, but this distinguished bird isn't bald at all. That's a nice cap of white feathers he's sporting. Vultures, on the other hand, are bald as, well, an egg. But for good reason. These animals are carrion feeders, meaning they will eat animals that are already dead, such as leftovers from a predator's kill. To get their meal, they often have to stick their entire head deep into the carcass. Think about it. If the vulture had a head of feathers like this neat feather cap would be covered with, well, you get the picture. Happily, any bacteria from the vulture's feast bakes off the bald dome in the heat of the sun. Bald, in the vulture's case, is not only distinguished, but sanitary too. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll meet some more extraordinary birds. But first, let's see if you can guess this animal fact. The birds with the most feathers are A. Ostriches and emus. B. Penguins and swans. C. Peafowl and owls. Or D. Hawks and ducks. The answer coming up when we return to Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? The birds with the most feathers are? The answer is B. Penguins and swans. For penguins, most means density. There may be up to 70 feathers per square inch on a penguin, making their feathers so dense, it sometimes doesn't even seem as if they have feathers at all, and giving some penguins, like the handsome king penguin, that smoothly elegant tuxedo-clad look. Here's a bird that wouldn't look out of place at any formal dinner party. Penguin feathers are small and stiff, and they overlap in tightly packed layers. This traps air next to the skin for insulation, keeping the penguin nice and warm, even when it's a bracing 38 degrees at the aquarium. These tight-packed feathers are very resistant to wind and water, because penguins waterproof them by spreading oil from a gland at the base of the tail. What is a penguin doing when it ruffles its feathers? Allowing the insulating air layer next to the body to break up. Instant temperature regulation, penguin style. Despite their feather density, penguins can't claim the most feathers. That title belongs to the swan. Swans, a graceful and distinguished bird, can be white or black. Like this Australian native. Swans have up to 25,000 feathers, the most feathers of any bird. Wow. But the first thing we notice about a swan is probably not feathers. It's that long, long neck. A swan's neck, in fact, is longer than its body. Yes, there are lots of birds with very long necks, from the flamingo to the stork, to the crane, and the ibis. But we've seen long necks in mammal world too. That long neck is one of the reasons the giraffe takes the title of the tallest living land animal. But no matter how long or squat a mammal's neck might be, they all have only 7 vertebrae, or neck bones. Yes, even the giraffe. But our swan can have up to 25 vertebrae. That's 3 times more than even what you have. With all those bones, how does a bird ever get off the ground? Where the bones of land animals consist of a heavy honeycomb of tissue, the long bones of flying birds are hollow. The skeleton of this quail, for example, is only about 1/20th of the weight of its whole body. And look at our black swan. This magnificent bird has a wingspan of up to 6 feet and a body length of up to 4 feet. yet it weighs only 30 pounds. In many flightless birds, of course, the bones are solid, and they look it too. Since there are so many kinds of birds have been divided into families based on things they have in common, such as physical features and behavior. We've met some flightless birds, the long-necked and long-legged variety, as well as the stumpy, web-footed, and flightless penguins, who may not be able to run fast, but some, like the rockhopper, can hop with the best of them. Though it's in the water where the penguin is poetry in motion. Large wading birds, like the egrets, and the spoonbills, and the flashy flamingo, are birds where the words large and long predominate. Large birds. Long necks, long legs, long beaks, and lovely slender toes. These large wading birds have broad, heavily fingered wings. And though they can fly quite fast, they do so with slow, steady wing beats. These waders mainly eat fish and small crustaceans, and the shape of their beak will often reveal how they catch their food. Herons, with their pointed bill, can snatch prey right out of the water, while roseate spoonbills swing their spoon-shaped beak across the water to snag a whole host of tasty creatures. Of all birds, however, the flamingo has the most specialized beak of all. The flamingo feeds by dipping its beak in the water while pointing its head downward. The lower bill moves up and down to pump water against the top bill, where a fringe of fine slits traps nutritious water animals and plants. Why is a flamingo pink? No, not because it's a great color for a lawn ornament. The flamingo gets much of its pink color from the food it eats. The crustaceans that the flamingo gobbles up in its underwater bill sieve feed on algae which contain pigments that impart a pinkish red color. Yes, it's diet that makes this flock flamingo pink. But it suits them, doesn't it? Within the vicinity of our large waders, it's often possible to get a glimpse of our next bird family, waterfowl. Our swans are waterfowl, and in fact, they are the largest of this group. Ducks are waterfowl, and ducks come in a huge variety of colors. But they all have short necks and feet set far back on their bodies, which causes them to waddle when they walk, but which makes duck paddling a breeze. Waterfowl live near ponds, lakes, and rivers, and have webbed feet and forward-pointing toes and duck-like beaks. Seems like we've forgotten a very important waterfowl. Of course, geese. Geese are smaller than swans, and they make a very distinctive honking sound. Once you've heard it, you won't forget it, right, Lucy? When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll meet some more of our feathered friends. But first, let's see if you can guess this next animal fact. Puffins are A, a species of penguin. B, a species of hornbill. C, are grouped with seagulls. Or D, are grouped with waterfowl. Don't go away. The answer coming up right after this on Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? Puffins are... The answer is C, grouped with seagulls. Yes, despite their penguin-style black and white coloring and their remarkable beak, which almost resembles a beak a rainforest-dwelling and fruit-eating toucan might claim, the puffin belongs to a large group of birds known as shorebirds and waders. Included in this group are seagulls and terns and many familiar small wading birds. And puffins, too. These seabirds live on coasts, marshlands, and mudflats. Some feed at the edge of the water, while others catch their food from the sea. Of course, a number of gulls have found that human habitats are prime places to scrounge up a meal, while others are content to borrow another animal's food. Hey, the polar bear won't miss a few pieces. Most of these birds have spindly legs, compact bodies, and thin probing beaks. But not all do. which the squat-footed big-billed puffin will attest to. The puffin's unusual bill is an adaptation for the food it eats. Puffins hunt for fish underwater. Yes, puffins can swim just like penguins below the surface, and their huge bill stores the fish they catch. As impressive as the puffin's bill might be, the fish-catching bird with the most impressive bill has to be the pelican. The pelican's huge pouch-like beak can hold up to 2.2 gallons of water at a time. Before the pelican swallows its catch, the pouch contracts to squeeze out all the water. While we're out with the birds, we should ask, what's the difference between a bill and a beak? A bill is defined as the beak of a bird, and the beak is defined as the bill of a bird. You say tomato, I'll say tomato. Both beak and bill refer to that horny projection that's so very bird-like and recognizable. Though in popular usage, bill is often used for birds that find food in or near the water, while beak is used for almost every other terrestrial feeding bird. The shape of the beak will often be a clue to what the bird eats. Parrots have a fruit and seed eater's beak, a hook at the tip to pull at the pulp of fruit, and a powerful jaw to crack open seeds and nuts. Compare this to our flamingo filter feeder, our fishing pelican. Beaks and bills, just like feet, define the bird and where it lives and what it eats. But just to be clear, birds aren't the only animals with beaks. The octopus has a beak mouth right in the center of all those legs. A tortoise is said to have a beak too. Why? A tortoise has no teeth. And neither do birds. Yes, all birds have feathers, but no modern bird has teeth. Birds and dolphins have a similar strategy. Swallow food whole and digest it internally. What do birds eat? Many birds eat insects. Some birds are mainly plant eaters. Some birds, like the toucan, are fructivores, or fruit eaters. Many birds are omnivores, meaning they consume both plants and animals. Puffins and penguins, as ardent fish hunters, are carnivores. As is our next group of birds, birds of prey. This group includes hawks, eagles, and kestrels, among others. These meat-eating hunters with strong, hooked beaks, excellent eyesight, and long legs with sharp talons are often called raptors. They attack feet first, catching prey such as squirrels or rabbits with their talons, then tearing apart their prey with their sharp beak. Don't worry, we're not going to demonstrate. Though owls are also predatory birds with sharp talons, they are in a group by themselves. Owls are easily identifiable because of their big round eyes, large heads, flat faces, and hooked beaks. Yes, owls look wise and almost otherworldly. Unlike other predatory birds, owls are usually nocturnal, meaning they hunt at night. And as amazing as it sounds, since owls cannot swivel their eyes like other animals can, they can turn their heads all the way around to see behind them. Wow! Another group of birds are game birds, like our quail. Most game birds have stout bodies and chicken-like beaks. They spend most of their time on the ground, often feeding on seeds, but they can fly when they need to. We can't forget the parrot family. These colorful and noisy birds from tropical rainforests and open plains. Parrots include parrots, of course, lorikeets, cockatoos, and macaws. Besides their coloring, their charming personalities, and their obvious intelligence, what's interesting about the parrots? Most birds have 4 toes, 3 toes in front and 1 behind. But the amazing parrots have 2 toes facing front and 2 toes facing back. The better for perching, just about anywhere. There is a group of birds called perching birds. In fact, it's this bird family that makes up over half of all the bird species. Most of the birds you will find in the trees in your backyard are perching birds. Of course, if you live on a farm or ranch, you might find chickens, peafowl, and if you're really lucky, a dancing turkey. For more fun animal facts and news, visit our website at www.animalatlas.tv. See you there. Don't go away. Animal Atlas will be right back. Until next time on Animal Atlas.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Phil.
People out there?
Yep, people.
Ring around the rosy. I'm dizzy.
Got him.
To be or not to be?
Bubbles.
And they're off as they round the first turn. The zebra's in the lead because no one else is racing.
Darling, alone at last.
Tag, you're it.
Once again, we've traveled the globe from North and South America to Africa and Asia to Australia and every fascinating place in between. We've met all kinds of incredible animals and learned some important facts about their ability to survive and flourish on our planet. And with our help, we'll make sure they're around for a long time to come. Join us next week for another amazing adventure on Animal Atlas.